What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And as always, I love to hear opinions in the comment section down below, whether they're different from mine or not. You know, as long as you're not like really rude about it, I'll have a conversation with you. I'll talk with you. It's a lot of fun. I have it pretty much in every single comment section now. So thank you to everybody who does comment. It makes me feel a lot better just in the fact that people are at least listening to my opinion, and whether or not they disagree or not is besides the point. So this video, we're going to be talking about Von Miller to the Ravens. And yes, the Instagram post is why I'm talking about it, but the Instagram post isn't something where it's like, this is confirmed. I believe it's a Drake lyric from a freestyle of some sorts. And Von Miller on Instagram posted saying, heart just turned purple, and then put the purple heart emoji. And so obviously Ravens fans, we all started freaking out just because, you know, it's always fun to see that type of thing. And Von Miller coming to the Ravens, I figured it's something that we could talk about because I think it is possible. It's not something that's impossible. So it's something that I feel like I can talk about and we can have a good time discussing it. So, you know, Von Miller to the Ravens, what would he be worth? What should the Ravens pay him, and how good would he be? Now, obviously, Von Miller missed last season. He suffered a season-ending injury, so he would be coming off of that, which does hurt. If you're an edge rusher and you're coming off of a season-ending injury, it's really tough. But the Ravens are, I guess, familiar with players coming off of injury at the edge rusher position, most notoriously Terrell Suggs, who multiple times, I believe, had season-ending injuries, came back, and was an absolute beast the next season. So it is possible to come back. He is 31 years old, but, you know, that's not something I'm overly worried about. So we can look at his stats from 2019, the season before that, and he had a bit of a down year. He only had 8 sacks, but that's skewed because there was nobody else on that front 7 helping him whatsoever get those sacks. Bradley Chubb was out for the season. I believe he played 4 games and suffered a season-ending injury. So, you know, yes, Von Miller had 8 sacks, but he was literally the only player on, you know, that could even rush the passer on that defense. And so everybody was going to double team him, maybe even triple team him sometimes. Because, well, if you got Von Miller on one side of the football, you're going to have to pay attention to that. He commands respect. I've talked about it with some other pass rushers before. A guy like J.J. Watt. Obviously, the Ravens can't get J.J. Watt, signed with the Cardinals. But he commands respect. If you line up against them and you see, oh, no, I'm going against this guy, give me that double team. That's something that's very important, especially in the Ravens defense, because when you blitz a lot and they're trying to double team somebody, you can maybe catch an offensive lineman lacking. You can have somebody screaming off the edge. You can have somebody coming up the A or B gap. That's very important for the Ravens defense. Or, you know, if you just rush for, you know, and you're double teaming a guy like a Von Miller, well, all of a sudden Calais Campbell's in a one-on-one. All of a sudden, whether it's Tyus Bowser or Jalen Ferguson, they're in a one-on-one. It makes it so much easier for them to beat that one-on-one. Whereas if, you know, you have a Matthew Judon out there who this isn't trying to be a Matthew Judon slander video, but like if you have him out there, you don't have to double team him. You can just say, yeah, we have a decent right tackle. He's got this. And then you double team Calais Campbell. It's like, oh, crap. Now there's no way the Ravens are getting pressure. But if the Ravens had a guy like a Von Miller coming off the edge, boom, that allows the other players to get into more favorable matchups, and Von Miller can still get around the edge. Will he beat double teams every single time? Absolutely not. Nobody can. But he can beat it every once in a while. He's a phenomenal pass rusher. But, you know, we could look at 2018 when he was playing with a rookie Bradley Chubb. He had 14.5 sacks that season, playing with another edge rusher. And you could say, yes, it's because he was younger. Or you could say it's because he had another guy next to him. And Bradley Chubb had 12 sacks that season. Because he played with Von Miller, he had 12 sacks. Do you know how many sacks Bradley Chubb had last season without Von Miller? He had 7.5. Oof. That's that's the Von Miller effect. I mean, we see it with tons of premier players on the front 7. You look at a guy like Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd will step up next to him. You look at a guy like a Khalil Mack, players will step up when they're playing around him because they just get more favorable matchups. And that's something that Von Miller would be bringing to the Ravens. And he's probably there's probably two free agent pass rushers that will bring that that are still available. And whether or not Von Miller gets cut is besides the point. I'm talking about this as if he's gotten cut. He hasn't yet. But Shaquille Barrett is the only other one where like they would command a double team. But other than that, like nobody else that you could sign will do it. Yannick doesn't command it. Judon doesn't command it. Von Miller's like the guy, and Shaq Barrett. But Shaq Barrett's a completely different video. I'll talk about him some other time. The downside of a guy like a Von Miller is that he is only an edge rusher. And what I mean by that is he's not versatile in terms of the front seven. He can't really cover. And he also is not somebody that you can play on the interior, whereas like a JJ Watt was somebody who can absolutely play on the inside. He can play on the outside, dominant all around. So Von Miller is limited in that aspect. So how he would be used in the Raven system would be not as well as like it could be if it was a different system. I brought up in my video on, what I would do as general manager. The guy that I would want to sign was Jadeveon Clowney. Now, Jadeveon Clowney's market value, according to Spot Track, is about $6.5 million. Von Miller's is about $10 million. So he's cheaper. Clowney's cheaper than Von Miller, but Clowney doesn't command the double team. So if the Ravens want somebody that will bring a presence to their defense, and Von Miller does indeed end up getting released, he has to be the guy they go after. They have to, if they want somebody to command a double team because that will help their defense. Oh my goodness, it would be so amazing if they were able to do that. They either have to sign Von Miller or Shaq Barrett. And for me, I think Shaq Barrett, as of right now, may be slightly better, but the issue is he's never played in a system without like other great players around him. But overall, I think that Shaq Barrett is just, when you're younger and he played with Von Miller. Like Shaq Barrett played with Von Miller, and so it's very tough. Von Miller, I think, is the bigger name, which is why I'd want Von Miller. I don't know why it took so long for me to say that, but I'd want Von Miller. I think, at $10 million, you think about that. If they franchise tag Matthew Judon, that's $20 million. And I believe a franchise tag on Yannick is about $15 million. Well, or you could bring in a veteran future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl MVP to your defense, who could he could show your young guys the ropes. If you draft an edge rusher, or you have Jalen Ferguson, who's an edge rusher, you have Tyus Bowser, who needs to work on his pass rush game. Boom, Von Miller will be able to bring that for you. So for me, I think if Von Miller gets released, I would absolutely go after him. If that's what the Ravens are trying to do. Do they want to help their scheme by having a dominant player that will command a double team? Or if they want somebody that will be able to be a freak of nature, play everywhere, I would go after Clowney. So those are kind of my options. Down below in the comment section down below, let me know. Should the Ravens go after Von Miller if he's released? Like, would that be the number one pass rusher to get? Or would it be like a Shaq Barrett? Which, again, I'll have a video about Shaq Barrett possibly coming to the Ravens at some other points, or a guy like Clowney, or if there's another edge rusher that you kind of want that. But I just thought this was a fun topic because a lot of Ravens fans yesterday were all on Twitter, just tweeting about how oh my gosh, Von Miller to the Ravens, all that stuff. Also, by the way, follow me on Twitter at TrustTheBank. It's on the left side of the screen, so go check that out. But thank you everybody for watching. Hit subscribe if you want to see daily Ravens content, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow.